and welcome, good evening. This is round 3 of the Pro Sprint Series, SOP Motorsport. And we are here at Brands Hatch. I'm joined with Rally Stu in the commentary box today. Hello, Stu.
Yep, hello. So we have, on pole, we have AJ to the P, who's 10th in the championship at the moment, but since winning that Coach David Academy prize, he's been untouchable. So he was in Laguna Seca in an endurance race the other night and was 20 seconds ahead of the opposition. So he's going to be the fox in the hen house in this race, disturbing the top three. The top three in the championship so far are Ampio, Militant and SV5. But AJ to the P has a new lease of life with that Bentley.
So we are going to start, we are on a full formation lap as they come around the final corner to start round 3. And one exciting round. I think it's going to be a race to remember for a lot of drivers. Such a brilliant track is Brands Hatch. And here we go then. And it's go time. AJP gets a really good start from Ampio. All clean to the first turn. THKKR.
AJP got a really clean start there, as we expected him to. Ampio staying nice and close. THKKR just dropping off the back a little bit, and he's going to be under pressure pretty soon from Militant in 4th place. Everyone getting away cleanly, as far as I can tell.
Yep, so far so good. And I think that was possibly the start that AJ to the P would have wanted. Ampio also not letting him go too soon.
Well, is he going to do what he did on Saturday night at Laguna Seca? Obviously not part of this series, this is the sprint series, but at Laguna Seca AJ to the P just disappeared. He was 20 seconds or so ahead at the end of the race. Just unbelievable pace since picking up those Coach David Academy setups. And as we see, he's 10th currently in the championship, but out of nowhere he's now the driver to beat. Ampio, the championship leader, in 2nd place, struggling to hang on to the back of AJSP here, half a second down already. As
we look down to 6th, TSR GT Welsh, which, did he win last week's race? I'm not too sure, I can't really remember. Where is he in the championship though?
GT Welsh had issues with his connection. He disconnected in the first race.
And sold it, yeah.
Yeah, which he would have won. GT Welsh won last week, I believe, and he is 7th in. Did he win last week? I can't even remember.
I can't remember. I think he's up there in the championship, though, right?
He's 6th in the championship.
Oh,
now,
is he?
26 points.
Okay,
so he can't have won. But
yeah, really good racing.
So GT Welsh, then, if we have a look at him in 6th place currently. In that Lamborghini, chasing ERS Chromatics. No one off yet, which is a surprise at Brands Hatch. You've always got a bit of bother. It's a very narrow circuit, no run-off areas. It can always get a bit busy down Paddock Hill Bend and into Druids. It can form a bit of a queue. But no issues so far for anyone. If you are joining us live, please like and subscribe. It does help.
I think TSR GT Welsh is putting enough pressure on Chromatics because he's just gone off just a tiny bit, cutting the last corner, and he is keeping him busy.
Well, it's always this stage of the race, people are trying to build their tyre pressures up. They're sitting on the grid for quite a while here, and then they've got that long formation lap. It's quite difficult to keep the heat in the tyres and generate any heat in the formation lap. So there will be a few moments finding their feet in the early stages of this race.
Ooh, I think GT Welsh looking to make a move, but couldn't. I think Chromatics put his car in the perfect position there.
It looks to me Chromatics is struggling with grip at the back.
Yeah.
He's spinning up his tyres a little bit. He's not very stable, and GT Welsh is going to squeeze through on the inside.
Oh.
And it's going to be a drag race down towards Hawthorne then.
That Audi very quick in a straight line.
Yeah, GT Welsh just has to concede there. Drop behind DRS Chromatics going into Hawthorns. Now they get into the danger zone, these blind apexes of Westfield and Sheens to come. Can GT Welsh maintain that level of pressure and force Chromatics into a mistake? Really struggling with grip, and Chromatics is gone. Chromatics has spun around, lost grip at the back of his car, and it's just gone flying off in Dingwall Dell. Have to find out where he's gone.
Oh, and talking about spinning, Ian TDI nearly went. Good car control from the McLaren, but he has lost position to Kagatakas.
Just wondering if Chromatics picked up any damage there, because we did see him. He just lost the back end going through Westfield.
Yes,
I don't know whether he nudged the barrier or not. I can't see any damage on that car, but
down to 9th. And Isaac seems to be trying to make a move.
They do touch there,
and that's really
Chromatics
unsettled.
Won't be thanking him for that.
No, absolutely not. And Kagataka is looking to make a move, and he has made the move. He's pushed flat track just a bit wide, and they're all scrambling for position at the back. I think just because of that little tap, this caused them all to bunch up.
Yeah, there's always that concertina effect as well at Druids. All the drivers will bunch up, and if there is a little bit of contact, a little bit of a nudge, that just exacerbates things.
So what were you saying about that Coach Dave Academy setup, Stu, with a 2-second lead now is AJ to the P?
Exactly, and we're seeing what they predicted was going to happen. We're seeing that come to fruition. AJ to the P is disappearing into a race of his own, just like he did at Laguna Seca. He was a mid-pack runner, sort of fighting in and around the top 10 for Laguna Seca, the endurance race on Saturday night, but he was the beneficiary of a prize giveaway from Coach Dave Academy. He won that setup bundle for the Bentley. It seems to be really paying off. He's gained miles and miles of time on his lap tyres, and his stability as well. He's a much cleaner driver and is just disappeared. He's already 2.5 seconds up, and we're only 4 laps into this race.
Yeah, 4 laps and 33 minutes to go, I think. And there seems to be there seems to be a yellow flag. Yeah, is that's GT Welsh? GT Welsh has gone off. If I can get, yeah, he has. GT Welsh has fallen to 16th.
Didn't see what happened there. Is that down at Graham Hill Bend?
I'm not too
like it is
sure
down at Graham
yet.
Hill, yeah. Doesn't look like there's any damage there. Looks like it must have just... If you run a little wide at Graham Hill, there's no runoff, and that grass can be particularly slippy, and even at low speed you can find your car facing the wrong way if you get a little bit wide. Well, that Lamborghini, hopefully not carrying too much of a war wound.
Oh, that is a shame. If it's not disconnections for TSR GT Welsh, it's battling, and it's caused him to go off. So it's not too good. And we do have another crash. Is that ADS in the Bentley? Yes. ADS.
R6 again is off, yeah, and that's up by, I think, is that by Sterling's?
That is Sterling's, yes.
So maybe a case of running wide at Sheens, which is really easy to do. That apex is completely blind, and you don't scrub much speed off for it. You just got to kind of aim and hope in a lot of cases, and it's very easy to run it wide, which it seems he has done.
And TSR GT,
right to the back of the grid.
Yeah, and TSR GT Welsh, I think, wants to get this race sorted, and he's looking to make a move on Stephen.
Yeah, Stefan is defending quite well, but GT Welsh clearly has pace. Whether it's carrying any damage on that Lamborghini or not, we won't know until the end of the race. But just catch up with the front runners then. THKKR just 0.4 of a second behind Ampio.
Ampio, yeah.
Porsche on Mercedes. It's around the final bend. Start fin on straight for what will be lap 6.
If we jump to 5th position, Stu, Militant, ILRT, SV5, Tico and Girino, and also, oh no, Tico, yeah, they're all battling for position.
Yeah, and these guys are all battling for position in the championship as well.
Yes.
Militant is currently 2nd in the championship, SV5 3rd, and Girino 4th in the championship. So these 3 guys are battling for position in the race, but also in the championship. It looked like Tico just nudged SV5 inadvertently into Druids there. Doesn't look like there's too much harm done. I think we should stay on board with.
Oh, and Militant's lost it. Into the wall he goes.
Was that unaided?
Yeah. Yeah, it was in Surtees.
Surtees, yeah, he must have just stuck. What can happen in Surtees, it's a little bit bumpy on the exit, and it's got a really nice, inviting, wide open entry, and then if you stick the power down a little bit too soon, you can find yourself just drifting wide under the wheel spin, really. Seems like that must have been what happened there, just got caught out on the grass and lost himself a handful of time and position, so that's going to put Militant down in 10th place, not where he wants to be when he's fighting for the championship win.
Do have another yellow flag, 47 if I read that correctly, I'm not too sure. 69.
But there is no 47, so
I don't know what number that is, I'm trying to look.
Oh, so Chromedix is off the circuit and in the pits, yeah, so that looks like a retirement for Chromedix.
Unfortunate.
It looks like it went off again in Dingle Dell, somewhere around there, sort of maybe carrying a bit too much speed through Westfield, and that's the end of any challenge that he might pose today. So
we have a question in the comments, first by Dreadnought Gaming. He said, what was the pole time?
So the pole time was 1:23.8, wow. I think, set by AJ to the P. And yeah, 1:23 is a seriously hot time. It takes a lot of nerve and a lot of balls to get that done around.
Another mistake, really sorry Stu, another mistake in Surtees, and CSX Isaac went a bit further than he would like to. PTX Google up the inside into Westfield, I think, and goes off again.
Yeah. Isaac just struggling to keep it on circuit at the moment, running a little bit too hot. He's under pressure, and you see a lot of cars in his mirror, and that's going to be affecting his judgment a little bit. He needs to concentrate on what's in front of him and not what's behind him. PTX Goog has got through.
Oh, who's that? Kagatacos, I think I saw. Yes, Kagatacos went straight on.
But Ian TDI is hunting Isaac down. Isaac seems slow at the moment, coming around the final corner on start finish straight. Ian's just gliding past. He's going to make a move into Paddock Hill Bend. He's had to give position back. Isaac holds on for now, but pressure's on. And Militant fighting as well, biting at the toes, biting at the ankle of Ian TDI at the moment, making up for the mistake earlier on.
Yeah, Dreadnought saying in the comments that the track's very unforgiving, and yeah, absolutely.
It is an unforgiving circuit. It's a really old circuit. It's one of the oldest circuits in the country. There's a lot of drivers on the grass, and we're just seeing Antunes, PTX Antunes in the background, lose it as well, running down that long straight towards Hawthorne. So a lot of drivers making mistakes. There's no runoff area here. We've been to tracks like Misano and Paul Ricard and circuits like that. They're very forgiving for the drivers, and if you do find yourself heading into a corner a bit hot, it doesn't really matter. You can run a little bit wide and just lose a bit of time, but here you've just got grass and gravel. As Militant, I think I've just seen Militant go off again.
Well,
so it's all happening. It was a really clean start to the race, and we're like, right, we've got some good close clean racing to come. Yes. Drivers are making mistakes all by themselves. They don't need any contact.
No, not at all. And talking about mistakes, I would like to know, now is the time for me to know whether TSR GT Welsh did a mistake then, as we do have another driver that's gone off. Who's that? 43. There's a number that I can't read.
Yeah, you're not very good at the
63, 63.
63, so that's GT Welsh
Oh,
again.
he's gone off again.
He must have picked up some damage. I think there is a little bit of damage on the front right of that car from that earlier incident. I think he's just a little frustrated, perhaps, sitting behind the Stefan. He knows he's got race pace and can't quite get it done, but seems like he's fighting his own car as much as he is the car in front at the moment. AJ to the P, let's catch up with the front runner. 4.8 seconds now the lead. 9 laps into this race, only 26 minutes to go, and AJ to P in a race of his own. He is definitely the driver to beat. I think there's going to be a few drivers in this championship now knocking on Coach Dave's door at the end of this race, wondering what the secret to success is. I think we should catch up with the battle for 4th place though. Tico chasing SV5, with Giorino wanting to be the beneficiary of any error of judgment to the cars in front. Yeah, someone in the comments as well saying it's crazy they used to race F1 cars here, and yeah, it's not a circuit you'd find F1 cars returning to just because of how dangerous it would be. But this started off as just a small kidney-shaped grass motorcycle circuit, and it's evolved over time. But it can only evolve so far. They can't extend it and make massive runoff areas. It is what it is, and it's got its very own character as a result of that. No runoff areas, walls close together. It's almost like a street circuit in places, and you've got the added caveat of slippery grass and gravel to catch the unwary. Looks to me like Giorino is going to be gunning for Tico's position.
Oh yeah.
A lap or so.
I do like to see, just looking down the timing screen, if that's what we can call it, just the amount of different cars we've got. We've got McLarens, Aston Martin, Porsches, Bentleys, Audis, Ferraris. This is quite nice to see, and a Mercedes, Honda.
Yeah, GT racing is always great for that. You do get a lot of different cars. It's not like Formula 1, they don't look identical. They're all very different and have their own characteristics as well. And it's nice to see at the head of the field we've got 3 different manufacturers. You've got a Bentley leading, a Mercedes behind, and a Porsche as well. So great variety. As maybe we take a look down at the battle for 11th with Ian TDI, looking to gain position on PTX and Tunes to head around Druids. And in terms of overtaking opportunities at Brands Hatch as well, it's really difficult. The only place that's safe to overtake, really safe to overtake, would be Druids. Everywhere else you've kind of got to hit and hope. So if you know how to position your car, this can be a very good circuit if you qualified well.
Absolutely.
No mandatory pit stops in this race, remember, so there's no chance of an undercut. If you want to overtake someone, it's got to be done on the circuit. Where should we be looking? I think CSX Isaac on PTX Guga in 7th place. Might be a worthwhile watch at the moment. CSX Isaac and PTX Guga are neck and neck, and they're going to be 2 abreast going into Paddock Hill. No, PTX Guga backs out of that one.
Grinch in the comments just saying there's a very noticeable lack of Lexuses on the grid. Yes, don't see that very often, do we?
Lexus was a car we'd see everyone using sort of early on in the season, or not in this season, but there's no one driving a Lexus in the Pro Championship. It's a car that seems to have dropped in favour with a lot of the drivers just for its, I guess, its lack of long range ability. It's a great qualifying lap car.
Oh, sorry, Stu. yeah, we got a battle going on. Jorginho and Tico. Jorginho goes down the inside and he takes Jorginho. I think Jorginho's going to go around the outside, and he does get the move done. They are side by side. This is brilliant racing from both the cars. And they've got him.
Yeah, Jorginho really showed his class. Jorginho showed his class last week at Misano, and he's doing it again here. It's a very good drive to watch, very exciting. I'm going to see if he makes another little dive into Druid. He gets a really nice clean X out of Paddock Hill, much cleaner than Tico, and it's right up alongside. Going into Druid, he's going to try for a little undercut here as Tico runs very, very wide. And now it's the charge down to Graham Hill. Tico still holds a race in line and will keep position, and that's just testament to the difficulty of this track, difficulty in overtaking. It's not much room to play with. But he gets a good pull out through Surtees. I think Jorginho is going to be the winner in this battle. How many times did they swap position in the last 2 laps?
Plenty to give us some action. So we're not complaining.
Tico's going to want a look around the outside of Hawthorns, can't get it done, has to tuck in behind. There's not any chance of getting it done at Westfield, is there? No, he has to back off and go single file through there, and the same's going to be said for Sheens as well. This is a battle to stay with. Jorginho runs all loose around Sheens.
Down the inside into Sterling's
position once again.
We are at the halfway mark, still a long way to go.
Wow. Oh, look at that.
I think I count 4 or 5 overtakes between this pair in the last lap. And Jorginho gets the pole.
Wow.
Start finish straight. And also the line through Paddock Hill. Will he give up the space? He does. Tico stays in front just about for now. But he runs wide and on the gravel, and Jorginho's going to bite back.
He's going to jump onto that, yeah. Oh, they do connect.
There is contact. It's a racing incident from my eyes. Tico just tried to close the door, but it was a little too late to do that.
Oh, yeah, good. He did let him pass. But that has allowed CSX Isaac, in the Bentley to try and join this fight.
And again around Surtees, Jorginho just seems to have a lot more pull. I think in the acceleration phase, and Jorginho goes wide and he is off and into the barriers. Oh dear. Unforced error as well.
And he spun again, so not good.
And again, that's what I was saying with Surtees. It's a great corner to push into, but it's really bumpy on the exit. If you put the power down a bit too early, you can find yourself out on the grass, and that's what happened there. Just under pressure from Tico, he found himself on the lumpy, bumpy stuff and sent the car spinning. And now Tico has some clear space between him and CSX Isaac. And that puts Isaac up into 6th place after earlier trouble, and that puts Jorginho. Where's Jorginho going to end up? All the way down in 14th place.
Wow.
With the other casualties of the earlier conflicts that we should expect to see at the top of the grid, Militant, who's currently 2nd or 3rd in the championship at the moment. Militant down in 13th place at the moment. Jorginho in 14th. GT Welsh in 15th place. 3 drivers we'd expect to be seen in the top 5.
So back to the comment section. TSR Jimmy, which I believe started the race, didn't he?
Yeah.
He's just saying that he did have some latency issues, and it's been happening when he's racing on full grids with 20 drivers, and he's had to back out of the championship, I believe. He's saying in Discord. So it's unfortunate, really.
The leaderboard at the top is very, very spread out. So we've got 7 seconds between all of the drivers at the top in the top 5.
Wow!
7 seconds between Ampio and AJ. 7 seconds between THKKR and Ampio. So there's nothing much to do at the top 5. So it's going to be the battle for 5th that's going to be the next battle to watch. CSX Isaac has closed that gap to Tico. Tico just can't catch a break in that Ferrari at the moment. The Bentley's going to get a good long run at him into paddock. We've seen Tico suffering a little bit out of Graham Hill and also out of Paddock Hill. That's where Girinho managed to make gains. We're going to see if Isaac can capitalise on similar mistakes. TDI in 11th place, about for 10th place as well, under a second. The gap between himself and PTX Antune still, that's a really good close race that's been going on for quite a while now.
Someone we haven't talked about at all, I don't think the name has come out of my mouth at all today, is Mr. Death Zone. And we do talk about him a lot in previous races. A driver that seems to take it back. Oh, Jesus. I thought that was Mr. Death Zone then. ENTDI going off. But, yeah, a driver that seems to stick his nose into some racing action when he needs to. In the Ferrari.
Yeah, he's often the bridesmaid and never the bride. He's always sort of in the mid-pack and never challenging for the top spots. But he's not short of any racing action as he closes the gap on TDI. So from around the start-finish straight into lap number 17. 15 minutes left in this one then. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And if you want to know AJ's B secret, head to coachdaveacademy.com.
Absolutely.
Will do. The driver going from 10th in the championship to now dominating a race at Laguna Seca and Brands Hatch. Something's happened.
Yeah.
Is either like, as someone suggested in the comments, got Dave Farrell himself driving the car for him, or setups really helping.
Absolutely, and I think it's just every track setup. Everyone wants a setup, don't they? And it's something that us racers know very well, is either struggling for a setup we like or grabbing a setup off YouTube from a video we've watched.
Yeah, and it rarely works because they're always so personal. But the coach ones appear to be sort of stable and just seem to make the car work, unless it's just a hit with AJ to B. I'll be interested to see if any other drivers have made the switch to a Coach Dave setup.
Yes.
I think they'll certainly be thinking about it after this race.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, this is the second race now we've seen AJ. It's not the first. Sorry, it's not the second time overall, but this is the second time now
since he's had the setup.
Since the setup, he's completely dominated, and it's crazy stuff. This Bentley driver. So if you do take your attention to the track map, you do see that the drivers they look bunched up, don't they? But when you look at the timing screens, they're not as bunched up visually.
Well, there's a few blue flags knocking about in there as well.
That is true. Yeah.
There will certainly be a bit of traffic.
Yeah.
To contend with. It's going to really shake up the championship because, like I said, we have some of the front runners in this race: Girinho, Militant, GT Welsh was there or thereabouts. All have suffered and are down in outside of the top 10. AJ is going to get a massive gain now. This if he can keep it together for the last 12 minutes and get a nice 30-point haul, which will put him right up into the mix. Ampio, the current championship leader, won't be too concerned at the moment, but he'll certainly be starting to wonder what he has to do to beat AJ to the P. So we should jump on board with CSX and Isaac. Still in that battle with Tico.
A developing battle.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Tico just can't get a break. He was in that long battle with Girinho to and fro, and now he's got Isaac to contend with.
Yes.
He has got clean air in front of him though. TDI as well. Just struggling to make it happen against Amplitude, and that I think is just the nature of the circuit. It's so difficult to overtake here. You've got to rely on just pressure, just trying to put the driver in front into some sort of mistake, unforced error.
Yeah, so Ian TDI gone.
As we get down to the latter stage of the race, we are going to see drivers make slightly more aggressive judgment calls. Ian TDI might fancy a late braking manoeuvre around Paddock in a few minutes' time. Maybe a dive up into Druids. We haven't seen a lot of overtaking up and down the grid. We've seen a lot of it between, it was all Jorginho and Tico that are doing all the overtaking for everyone on the grid.
Thank you everyone for watching, by the way. We got 19 viewers. And you do see the only McLaren on the grid, Ian TDI fighting PTX Antunes in the Porsche, something that's been developing for quite a while. A few mistakes from Ian TDI there, here and there, but I think he's trying to get his head down now. And as Stu said, the last 10 minutes now, this is where we'll start seeing a bit more mistakes. Hopefully not, though.
The battles to watch are going to be Isaac for 5th place and TDI for 10th. This is for points. This championship is for real silverware as well. The drivers at the end of this series will. The top 3 drivers will be taking trophies home with them.
Yeah, so it is a bit more than just a sim race. Here at SOP, we do like to make it a bit more than that.
GT Welsh seems to be making moves on Jorginho at the back as well.
Oh, nice, good. He is caught up to him as well, quite a way back.
After that incident at Surtees that Jorginho had, he just hasn't had the pace he had before, so I think that Audi must have picked up a little bit of damage hitting the Armco there, so GT Welsh seems to be applying plenty of pressure onto the Audi driver. Going to take a look into Hawthorns, I think. 2 drivers that we would expect to see in the top 5, now in the bottom 5. But the racing is still close and clean.
TSR GT Welsh pushing quite a bit now. You can see by the way the car's sliding around through the corners.
Battles opening up now. If anyone has any suggestions in the comments for driver of the day, will be appreciated. For me, I think the driver has made great gains but hasn't really been talked about is SV5, the Iranian driver in that Porsche. I think he qualified 8th or 9th and he's up into 4th place now in a race of his own, as all of the top 4 drivers are, but he's done very, very well from where he started. I'm not sure what happened in the battle for 5th, but Kagatakos is in front of CSX Isaac, so I can only imagine Isaac made a mistake and Kaga in that Porsche, Portuguese driver, has found himself in 6th place and chasing Tico down himself, so Isaac must have made an error somewhere in the circuit.
Isaac in the Bentley, possibly, I think so, yeah.
Because Isaac was all over the back of Tico a couple of laps ago, and now there's a stinking great big green Porsche behind Tico, split them in the middle, so something's happened there. Kagatakis gets all out of shape going into Paddock Hill. And as we've mentioned hundreds of times, you know, the Porsche in the latter stages of any race, if you're running fuel at capacity for the race, it gets overly easy to rotate the engines at the back, all the weight's over the back of the car. The only weight in the front of the car is a fuel tank, so when it starts to empty out, when you run into the last stage of the race, that car just wants to spin on you. So I think he's struggling a little bit now. And Isaac is right up behind him again.
Yeah, and something to mention is obviously these drivers can't change their car during the sprint series. And
Isaac runs wide at
wide.
Hawthorns, but keeps it together just about. I thought it was going to fly off into the wall. Yes. It looked like he had headed far too fast. There is a gentle camber at Hawthorns, so I think that maybe assisted him a little bit. So the battle to watch as we head to the last 5 minutes of Race 1, the Pro Series. GT Welsh still making efforts against Giorino. Flat Track, a driver we haven't been talking about today, is eyeing up PTX Guga the last couple of laps.
A lovely livery. He's got a really nice livery on that, on the Aston Martin, green, or lime green I think that is, with a black, very nice.
We have Ian TDI, who's just Mr. Deso just made a lunge into Druids onto TDI, but ran very, very wide, and TDI's gathered the position back. And TDI's still chasing down Antune, so he's got 4 minutes left to make a decision as to whether he's going to try for an overtake or not. I don't think he'll be happy with 11th. He'll want to break into that top 10. Yep. Championship points are a factor here. It's just where you get it done around Brands. You could easily ruin your race with a silly overtake. And Kaga appears to have got in front of Tico. I'm not sure what's happened there, but Kaga is now in 5th place. That'll be his best finish to date. He's just got to stay in front for 4 minutes, but he's going to have...
It's going to seem like a long time, I'm sure.
It's going to be a long time for him, yeah. To break into the top 5 would be a massive achievement for the Portuguese driver, but that yellow Ferrari is not going to make it easy for him, I don't think. He's a lot more cautious through Paddock Hill this time around. Last lap got a little bit out of shape. Heads up to Druids. Holds the inside line, defending well there. Who do you have for your driver of the day, Bailey?
Oh god. Well, I'd like to say I think AJP has done an outstanding job. Not only, it's not just the setup. Let's just put it that way. It's definitely a factor, but he's led the race, kept a cool head, because he was close to Ampio. Ampio is all the way, you know, he's up his back end quite a lap, for about 2 laps or so, which is not it's not easy, is it? So I mean, got to give him that. But I think SV5 definitely.
Yeah, SV5 and Kaga as well. I mean, Kaga's a driver we usually see around sort of 10th, 11th. He's currently found himself into the top 5, which would be, I think he'll just have a grin from ear to ear if he manages to make this stick. Kagatako's currently 20th place in the championship with only 1 point, so this would be a monumental achievement if he gets it done. But Tico is not going to make that easy for him. 2 minutes to go in this one then. We have obviously got the AM race to follow this.
Yeah. Which is definitely one to join in and watch. It's as clean and as racy as all the other. Why is Kagatako's nowhere near SV5 all of a sudden?
No, he wasn't. I mean, they were.
Oh, it's Kaga and Tico. It's Kaga and Tico. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. SV5 was in a race of his own.
Yeah.
The battle was always 5th and 6th. But today I think we have had clean racing. I think the only mistakes have been unforced errors, drivers just getting caught out by pushing themselves too hard. So I expect more of the same. As Kagatakos runs wide onto the gravel, I think that was around Westfield, and that's going to make Tico make an overtake on a Sheen.
Wow, you don't see that
Almost
often.
impossible place to overtake. No, it's
Yeah.
not somewhere you want to see overtake. I was kind of sitting here with clenched teeth watching Kaga go around the outside there, but Tico is through, and Kaga's not going to be happy with that. He's been pushed down to 6th place. Still a good finish for him, but he wants that 5th position back, and CSX Isaac is going to be breathing down the neck of both of those drivers now as he draws in on the mistakes they're both making.
Yeah,
1
we could
minute
see
to go then.
CSX Isaac making a move. No, never mind. He's take a bit too much gravel there for a move. I think slowing him down just enough, but I'm sure he can fight back now.
Yeah, Tico seems to be finding daylight between himself and Kagatako, so I'm wondering if Tico maybe made a mistake which allowed Kaga to draw the distance closer together, but now Tico's got in front of him. Seems to be finding some daylight.
CSX Isaac. Well, they're all very close. Has Tico made a mistake? I wonder.
No, I said it earlier on. Tico seems to struggle in Surtees, Graham Hill. Seems a little slow through there. As CSX Isaac has to back out of Hawthorns. And these three are nose to tail, swapping paintwork almost.
This is the final lap, remember, so if you're going to make a move, this is where you need to do it.
This is not the final lap for these drivers, so they will cross the line. No, they will cross the line and get another lap.
Wow, okay, cool. That's awesome. I'm glad you said that.
So we'll stay with this battle then.
Wow, I think Tico is... Yeah, he's side by side into the final corner nearly. Perfect moment to switch back.
Oversteer from Kagatakos.
I think
Isaac unable to get through.
Not yet, but he's 3 wide. Oh no! No
was there
way!
Contact, or did he just get out of shape there? There was eventually contact. CSX Isaac did touch, but I don't know if it was the cause of the incident. Kaga recovers well. But is in 7th place now, and Tico can breathe for the first time in this race. CSX Isaac is behind Guga, so Guga got through after all of that.
I think... Oh wow, yeah, how the heck has he done that? Where was Guga?
Neither has finished the race.
And AJ to the P, an outstanding drive for the Bentley driver. Wins.
Yeah, thoroughly deserved that win. A very boring race from AJ to the P, but he won't mind that one bit. He'll pick up 30 points from this.
And Pio in the Mercedes. Good drive for him. THKKR in the Porsche also.
Yeah, so Guga came from nowhere. He just seems to leapfrogged 3 drivers.
Yeah.
After that incident at Paddock Hill Bend.
CSX Isaac's got a battle. No, he hasn't. I thought he was a bit closer than 6/10 Lux.
GT Welsh is going to be the next driver who can do anything. As Girinho and GT Welsh head up towards the final corner.
CSX Isaac let Kagatakos past, Stu. On the line.
Well, that's interesting. Maybe he did feel
Maybe he did, yeah.
Anyway, that brings us to the end of the race. Thank you very much for watching. We're going to get ready for race number 2. I might need to watch that race back to find out what happened on the last lap, to be honest.
Yeah.
But we will see you in just a few minutes' time.
Yes, thank you very much. And we'll see you for the AM race.